even when she's tired, even when her body starts to feel off. And from the outside, she looks completely fine. But inside, her energy is dropping, her body feels different. And this is where most people miss what's actually happening, because this isn't stress. There's a kind of woman who can handle a lot. She's capable, responsible, reliable. People depend on her, and she doesn't want to let them down. So she keeps going, even when she's tired, even when her body starts to feel off. And from the outside, she looks completely fine. But inside, her energy is dropping, her body feels different, and something is starting to change. And this is where most people miss what's actually happening, because this isn't stress. This is a pattern your body is responding to. And in this episode, I want to show you how this pattern builds, how it shows up in your body, and why it's so hard to stop, even when you know you need to. This isn't just something we're experiencing now. This pattern has been showing up in women for a long time, even someone like Florence Nightingale. I recently came across this story of Florence Nightingale. You may have heard of her. She was a famous British nurse. She was born in the 1820s. Her life was meant to be comfortable. She was expected to marry, to live within a certain role, to stay in what was considered appropriate for women at that time. But she felt called to something else. She felt a strong pull toward service, toward caregiving, toward helping people who were suffering. And it wasn't because she had to, but because she felt responsible. Becoming a nurse in the 1800s wasn't expected. It wasn't encouraged, but she pursued it anyway. She trained and she studied and she committed herself fully. In her early 30s, she went to serve in the Crimean War, which is part of modern-day Ukraine, and she stepped into an overwhelming situation, into overcrowded hospitals, poor sanitation, thousands of injured soldiers, constant urgency, and constant need, and not enough support. Is this starting to sound familiar? She worked incredibly long days, sometimes close to 20 hours at a time. She was always on the go, moving from patient to patient, organizing care, training new nurses, trying to bring order to chaos. And what's important to understand is this: she worked in these conditions for about 2 years, not decades. And after about 2 years of sustained high-level stress without enough recovery, she collapsed. During that time, her body started to change. Her energy dropped, her sleep was disrupted, her digestion shifted, her nervous system was under constant pressure. But she kept going because she was needed. And when you're needed, you don't stop. And this might look different in your life, but the pattern is the same. Moving from one responsibility to the next, holding everything together, being the one person people rely on, and telling yourself, I'll rest later. Does this sound familiar, dear listener? And then in her late 30s, Florence's body collapsed. Not a small signal, not a gentle nudge, a full stop. She ignored all of the small signals, telling her that she was out of rhythm. The low energy, the digestion that was off, the sleep disturbances. And when we continually ignore the small signals, the body starts to send louder and louder ones. Florence Nightingale became severely ill, and after she returned home, she spent years, decades, dealing with the effects. Her body never fully came back to what it was before. And this is the part of the story that feels very personal to me, because at one point, doctor said something very similar. I was told that I was reaching a breaking point. I had been holding it all together, doing the things for everyone, not taking enough time or any time really for myself. I just kept going and going and going. And the doctor told me that I was close to collapse. And she told me when that happens, we don't always know how the body and mind will respond. They might never be the same. And that's the part we don't talk about enough. But sometimes the body doesn't fully come back the same. And we don't know what's going to happen when we finally break. And so after my doctor told me this, I decided to take some time off because that scared me. I've known family members or heard stories of my own ancestors who broke and weren't able to recover the same way. And I knew that I didn't want that to happen to me. And I don't want that to happen to you. And Florence Nightingale didn't know that that was going to happen either. She thought she could keep going. She thought she could handle it. And she did, right? She was amazing until her body said no. And if you're listening to this, if you feel like you're holding a lot and your body has been sending signals, gentle nudges, this is your moment to pause because it doesn't take decades. It takes enough intensity without enough recovery. We think we can push and push and push and then just recover later. And the thing is, we never stop pushing because the time to stop never comes. There is always something to do. There's always a fire to put out. There's always something that needs our attention or someone that needs our attention. But we have to start paying attention. We have to start listening to what the body is communicating to us. And small shifts can have big impacts. When you begin to notice that you feel crummy, right? What is feeling crummy? For all of us, it's something a little bit different, but maybe it's being confused or foggy thinking or aches and pains showing up in the body, maybe the lower back or the neck and the shoulders. Maybe it's memory problems or fatigue, insomnia, you can't fall asleep or stay asleep, mild headaches, digestive issues like gas, bloating, heartburn, constipation, lack of appetite, or maybe too much appetite. All of these are signals that your body is communicating to you. The body is responding, it's adapting, and it continues to communicate, adapt, and respond until it can't anymore. When the nervous system stays activated for too long, digestion changes, sleep changes, energy changes, hormones change, which affects everything. And not because something is wrong with you, but because your body is trying to keep up. And the shift isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about noticing, where am I overriding myself every single day? And maybe you've never thought about it because you're always in go, go, go mode. Maybe it's how you've been operating for a very long time and it's just become your new normal. Maybe it's beginning to ask yourself, where am I pushing past hunger? Do I even know the signals that my body is giving me when I'm no longer hungry? Or is it more just an act of something that I'm familiar with? Do I skip breakfast and lunch and then I'm ravenous at 3 p.m. reaching for whatever is around? Maybe it's the cookies that somebody brought to work, or maybe it's the pastry and coffee at the coffee shop down the street. Perhaps it's pushing past exhaustion. Is it 3 p.m. and you're reaching for your 5th cup of coffee? Or maybe I'm just talking about myself. Every 3 p.m., I was just so drained, I had to drink the coffee to keep going, where the thought of a shower later that night when I got home was just too much. Maybe it's pushing past the need to rest. I don't know what these signals are for you, but these questions are just ways to begin to create curiosity. It's not about fixing everything. It's just beginning to listen before your body has to get louder and forces you to listen. Maybe it's the breakdown or the inflammation or the surgery or the debilitating back pain. Stress and burnout shows up in different ways. But Florence Nightingale didn't stop when she was tired. She stopped when her body made her. And you don't have to wait for that moment. You can begin listening now while your body is whispering. And if this pattern feels familiar, being the one who holds everything together, being the one who everyone relies on, even when you're exhausted, I want you to listen to another episode. It's episode 12, Wired and Tired, Why You Feel Exhausted But Can't Relax. It will help you understand what's actually happening in your body when you can't fully rest, even when you're exhausted. I'll link it in the show notes. And if you're feeling this in your body right now, if you're tired but still pushing, I created something simple to support you. It's a short, guided relaxation practice designed for when your nervous system feels overwhelmed or you just need a place to land. You don't have to figure anything out. You can just lie down, press play, and let your body begin to soften. I'll link it for you in the show notes. It's a place to start without waiting until your body forces you to stop. Because, dear listener, you are so whole and so dear, here and now, just as you are. Be well and nourished. That's it for this edition of The Body Rhythm. Thank you for joining me. Be well and nourished.